Here's how you can maintain professional and engaging style as a podcaster. Now, stay with me on this one. I'm going to give you some solid tips. Before I dive in, again, hi, my name is Sarah. I'm podcastinc CEO, and I always help B2B podcasters on scaling, growing their podcast, using their podcast to sell, grow, and market. And if you're not following me, you should follow me. I'm just kidding. If you're not following me, one thing I want you to know about me is like I thrive on B2B podcasts and I help them to the core of go into their system toward like really, really generating millions of listeners or clients. It depends upon like their goal. Now, when it comes up to the style, I've always worked with like a lot of podcasters that we had to not switch their style, but we had to make them like open up toward like put in a call to action. Some of them will feel cringed actually out of, okay, I don't want to say where people can find me because I feel like I'm being too silly. But if your content is amazing, you're having like an amazing conversation. Like for example, picture yourself as, my co-host and we're just having an amazing conversation. You're just sharing tips. I'm sharing tips as well. We're giving some solid informations and it's conversational. So it's not that I'm asking you all the time questions, it's like interviewing you, but pretty much we're asking each other from time to time. It's like conversation, like simple conversation. How many times we kind of like we'll be in our offices and you hear like two people or two coworkers kind of like yapping or talking about something, you'd be like, I want to hear more. Because the conversations, these type of things attract people to listen. We are actually all bored right these days, scrolling on media, scrolling on TikTok, YouTube, these platforms, and whenever like you meet a conversation that would just satisfy the level of boredom you have, then boom, you become a fan, you become a follower to that, right? So similar to this, like if someone is like keen to learn, let's say marketing, or keen to learn sales, there are like tons of podcasts out there, but not all of them maintain this type of thing, like of like becoming professional talkers and at the same time like making it conversational. So there are like two ways of it, because some of us picture this idea of like professional means like you will be boring. No, it's the opposite actually. Professional, sorry, means like you will be aware of like what you're talking about, and you know how to make fun conversations and do a lot of things with it because you know it all. Not you know it all in that sense, but you know it all in terms of like what you're putting out of your mouth. So that's one thing that I want you to focus on. So when it comes up to these things, maintaining that conversational type of content is really, really helpful to building the audience that you want to have. And it will allow you also to simply include a call to action. Like for example, I'm giving you a solid tip and I'm happy for free, I'm going to give you like extra tips if you reached out, or if you tell me like, hey, this is my system, I want you to take a look at it. Tell me what is missing. Tell me how can I use this system to maximize, my conversion rate in terms of like sales, because I want to use the podcast as my solid marketing tool slash sales helper or growth, whatever. So this is something that I can, give you and I can talk about without feeling cringe. Why? Because it's not that I know it all, but it's just because I've done it multiple times that it's easy for me to make fun of it and also talk about it the way I want. So really maintaining like a professional yet engaging type of conversation require you to also set a certain boundaries for your guests and to tell them like this is how the podcast is going to go. If you're like the type of like, let's say, that won't really engage or interact or have that enthusiasm, it won't work for us. But it depends upon like what kind of topic. You can't just have like a horror type of podcast or like crime podcast and you be having someone that, oh my god, happened this one, this, that. So you cannot have that. But it depends upon like what style of a podcast you have. It will define the type of conversation you will be having. So that's pretty much what I have for today's video. See you guys on the next one. Bye bye.